Hey folks, I'm Janice MacMillan, broker for Signature Choice Realty, and this is our first ever episode of Real Talk and Real Estate, and we are hoping to bring valuable information to the consumer about real estate in this area and what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And this is my co-host here,
Tanika Christopher.
And she's the associate broker here. She also trains our agents and does a very awesome job with that.
Thank you.
Our first topic this week is going to be regarding due diligence period. And Tanika, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so due diligence periods is probably one of the most important timelines and deadlines as far as a real estate transaction is concerned for both the buyer and the seller, okay? So once you're under contract, we'll start with the buyer side of it first. So once you're under contract, you have a certain number of days, and it's, dependent on the buyer and seller. Typically, it's about 14 days, okay? It could be more or less. So you have that time to have your inspections done on the property. The home inspector, if the house is on a septic system, have the septic inspected, well, whatever. If it's just land, that's your opportunity to maybe have a percolation test done. And even if it does have the utilities, septic and well, to have all of those inspected as well. Survey as well. Yeah. If there's not already a survey done on the property. So due diligence periods, as a buyer, during that time, you have all your inspections done, everything, you have your reports back. Okay, great. Now what? So within that period, you want to...
Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
I just lost my total train of thought.
That's okay. You want to have all of your inspections done.
Yes, you want to have all of your inspections done, and if there are any issues that you want the seller to address within that period, that is the time to do it, because once your due diligence period expires and you haven't asked the seller to address any issues, you are accepting and purchasing that property as is, okay? Georgia is a buyer beware state, so please keep that in mind and make sure that you and your agent stays on top of that deadline, because it's very, very important.
And once you pass your due diligence period, if you decide to back out after that period is ended, after it's terminated, then you risk losing your earnest money in the transaction. So the earnest money, although it's not required in any transaction in Georgia, it is a very good idea to have some earnest money at stake. It just shows your seriousness in following through with that purchase of that property. And just a little bit of skin in the game, actually. The seller's taken their house off the market, and they're no longer pursuing a buyer typically at that point, and just waiting around for inspections to come back. But you want to be real careful that you're adhering to your timeline so that you are protecting your earnest money.
Yes. Yes. So even, just getting down to the wire with it, you want to make sure that you give enough time. If that seller needs to get quotes for repairs, again, you want to make sure that you're giving enough time for that. So the earlier you schedule your home inspection and your other inspections, the better.
Yep. And sometimes people know if they're going into a contract, they're already trying to get home inspectors lined up even before the contract goes binding, which is good. You're getting kind of a jump on it. In today's market right now, because everybody's so busy, even our home inspectors are, booked up sometimes, and we can't get them in there right away. Now, if the circumstances are right, that due diligence period can actually be extended so long as all the parties agree to extend the due diligence period. That is not a given, though.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So just, again, be careful and be aware of all of your timelines. Now, on the seller side of that, your agent should prepare you for expecting repairs to, be done or asked on your property. So, don't be surprised. And I know, every seller just knows their house is wonderful and great and, all that. But once the home inspector goes in and does all their, inspections, it could be some, some things that will pop up and some findings on that inspection report. So don't be surprised by that. And, just be open to what the buyer will ask you to address. Depending on, what it is. But anyway, so on the seller side of that, as you're preparing to make those repairs, what you don't want to do, and I guess I should say that the repairs are negotiable.
Always.
So yes, always. So if you have, get the amendment to address concerns from the buyer's agent and it's a long list of items, you aren't required to repair all of those items. So you can go back, to that buyer and say, I'll fix this, this, and this, but not this, these items here. And that's perfectly okay as long as everybody's in agreement with it.
Yep.
Okay?
And that's where your agent comes in at too. They can help you discern which repairs are actually, are a good idea to repair, or, to make. But there's some repairs that you just don't want to make. They're minor. They can be fixed by anybody.
Yes.
They may be cosmetic and you don't want to do cosmetic. So, but that's, your agent will help you discern which one out of the list of repairs, would be the ones that you want to take care of.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then on the other side of that, as a seller, you don't want to get into the contract and get under contract. And then in the middle of the inspection period or after you see what the buyer is asking you to repair, oh, no, I just want to sell it as is. And that's a little, that's not really a good idea.
Yeah, that's something that should actually be disclosed to your agent from the beginning. That way they can make the proper notations into our MLS system, and a buyer would know going in that if they have inspections done, if they have septic inspection, home inspection, all that is for their information only, that the property is being sold as is. That doesn't stop them from requesting repairs. They can still request repairs, but they know going into it that you are likely not going to make those repairs.
Right, yes. And they can factor into how much it's going to cost to have those repairs done if they do decide to move forward with the property being sold as is.
Yep.
Yeah.
They may even give a credit for if the repairs, if there's a lot of repairs that need to be completed, they may even give a little credit at closing or reduce the purchase price of the house based off whatever that inspection found.
Yeah. So again, on the seller side of that, if you're planning to sell your home as is, and you let your agent know up front, of course, and what you do want to be careful of is just knowing that it could really reduce the pool of buyers that would be qualified to get financing for your house. So if you have some wood rot or some other type of damage to the home, more than likely some of the financing we have a lot of, because we're a military community, we have a lot of buyers that get VA financing. More than likely those items are going to pop up on the appraiser's report. So, and typically when that happens, if you don't make those repairs, then the buyer can't obtain financing. And so therefore, the deal is pretty much done or dead rather. But again, if it's on the appraiser's report, you're pretty much required to make those repairs. But again, if not, if you still decide not to make those repairs, then that's
kind of stuck. We'd be at an impasse. It will require the appraiser to go back and do a recheck. If you agree to the repairs and you move forward with the sale of the property, then the appraiser is going to have to go back and do a recheck on those repairs, sign off on them that they were done in a good workmanlike manner, and then report that back to the lender that they've been completed. Otherwise, you're just kind of dead in the water and you can't move forward with that loan approval. You're talking VA, you're talking FHA, USDA. Conventional is a little less stringent, regarding that kind of stuff. But you got to really think about it before you say no.
Right.
To what's being requested.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it kind of depends on, the seller's proceeds at the end of the sale. So it's like, do you want to risk, I don't know, maybe a $30,000 check at the end of the sale based on a $500 repair.
Right.
So it sometimes in some instances it just doesn't make sense to not make the repair.
But sometimes we get stubborn and we just put our foot down and we say, we're not doing anything. I'm done. So, and then what happens is the contract gets terminated and everybody goes their separate ways and the seller starts over and has to, put that house back on the market again. And now people are wondering why you haven't or why the house has come back on the market.
Right.
And what's wrong with it. So it kind of raises suspicion sometimes, even though you said it was going to be sold as is.
Yeah, exactly. So, just a little bit of information on due diligence periods. Janice and I would love to answer any questions that you may have regarding, putting your home on the market, or if you have any other questions regarding due diligence periods. So just hit us up anytime. And
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's all we got on that, but I do want to mention some community events that's coming up this next week. Week of 14th through the 16th, we have the Christmas lights at Camp Rock from 5 to 10. Then we have Santa on the Square at the Valdosta Courthouse. It's also the 14th through the 16th from 5:30 to 7:30. And there was one more, Tanika.
Yes, there is the Jingle Jog, the 5K Jingle Jog at Freedom Park. You do have to register for this event with the Valdosta Lounge Parks and Recreation. So there's $15 registration in advance and then $20 if you decide to run the race on race day. So just make sure you contact the Parks and Recreation if you're interested in that one. And that one is on December the 18th. From 7:30, I'm sorry. The race begins at 7:30. Check-in, let me go back. I'm just going to read it. Check-in is at 7:30. The race begins at 8 a.m. on that Saturday. So.
Yep. And I want to end this with, if y'all are having some sort of event and you want some extra word getting out there, please email us, shoot us a text and let us know. We'll be happy to announce the time and the date and what the event is on this program. We intend on doing this once a week, and we appreciate everybody listening to us, and I hope that the information was valuable and y'all learned something from it.
And I guess they need to know how to get in touch with us, huh?
Oh,
of course,
absolutely. My cell phone number is 229-834-0946, and again, my name is Janice MacMillan.
And my contact information is 229-630-5568, and I'm Tanika Christopher, and my email is kind of long. Well, it seems
just
like, I don't know why. Yeah, just text us. Yes, it's good.
It's all good. All right, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time on Real Talk in Real Estate here in Valdosta.
Bye.